Right now, heated debates over a bill dedicated to agriculture. We take a deep dive into the bill to see what's exactly inside. Also, we continue our Three for the People coverage on crime, specifically the cost of preventing it, what Madison's police chief is saying about the current budget. And later, it's homecoming week at UW. We're live on campus with some of the celebrations happening right now. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Agricultural policy has been at the center of the campaigns, especially here in Wisconsin. And at the center of the debate in Washington right now is the Farm Bill. But what does it all contain? Political reporter Will Keneally has more.
You heard it in that U.S. Senate debate, the back and forth over the Farm Bill. But it's not just about farmers. It's a broad, expansive bill that impacts all Wisconsinites.
Tina Hinchley is a dairy farmer in eastern Dane County who also advocates for the Farm Bill through the Wisconsin Farmers Union.
It's a huge bill. And labeling it a farm bill often has people thinking that the farmers are the ones that are getting all of those funds. And it's not so. 80% of the farm bill is going to be nutrition.
That includes nutritional programs like SNAP benefits, otherwise known as food stamps, and support for women and infant children, also called WIC. The Farm Bill is negotiated every 5 years, and it's up this year. Lawmakers in D.C. are working to come to an agreement before the end of the year.
Reporting in Cambridge, Wisconsin, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Former President Donald Trump will return to Wisconsin next week. The Trump-Vance campaign announcing today Trump plans on holding a rally in Green Bay. That'll take place on Wednesday. The rally scheduled for 6 p.m. It'll be held at the Resch Center. The doors open at 2. Trump expected to talk about inflation when he comes to Wisconsin next week. Now, the Harris-Walz campaign responding to that upcoming visit, saying, quote, Wisconsinites know that Trump threatens the stability and security of hardworking families to serve himself. And that's why earlier today, Green Bay's Republican State Senator Robert Coles joined other Republicans, independents, and Democrats to endorse Vice President Harris. Well, meanwhile, Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance stopping in Racine next week. The Ohio senator will be in the Racine Memorial Hall on Monday afternoon. That'll happen about 5:30. He's expected to talk about Donald Trump's economic plans compared to that of the Biden administration. Senator Vance also is expected to encourage Wisconsinites to vote early for the Trump-Vance ticket. Continuing our Three for the People coverage, all week we've been tackling the issue of crime, and our Maddie Heimsch has reported on where the candidates stand on crime, the state of criminal justice here in Wisconsin, and tonight she'll bring us what it all means for your wallet this election season. Maddie?
Yeah, Eric, both the city of Madison and its taxpayers spend more on police than any other city service. But with an election and a city referendum approaching, could we save money for other things like streets, parks, and library funding? I sat down with Police Chief Sean Barnes to break down the budget. With crime on a downturn here in Madison, he says there is money to be saved.
From a financial standpoint, when we're not responding to as many burglaries, robberies, or some of the major crimes that we mentioned before, we're able to save some money, save some wear and tear on officers as well, and on detectives and then investigators and things of that nature.
But Barnes says it's not as simple as lower crime, meaning lower costs. Madison's growing population means a higher demand for service, an increased need for equipment, and this year's surge of high-profile political visits is both timely and costly. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, I'll break down the full cost of community safety and bring perspectives from taxpayers in the city.
Maddie, thank you. A Madison family looking for another place to stay after a fire at an apartment. Fire crews were sent to the scene on Thurston Lane just before 2:45 yesterday afternoon. Crews arrived to find smoke visible from all sides of that building. Signs of fire on the second floor as well. They found a fire in the kitchen, helped put it out. No one was hurt. The family is now being helped by the American Red Cross. The Rock County Medical Examiner's Office identifying a man who died after falling from a boom truck. It happened at the Rock County 4-H Fairgrounds. 59-year-old Timothy Gillitzer of Milton died Saturday morning from injuries suffered in the fall. Gillitzer and a 62-year-old Janesville woman fell about 10 feet from an extended boom on a truck during an Employee Appreciation Day event. The woman survived the fall. The incident remains under investigation. We turn now to weather. Good chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. We check your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington out on the weather patio. Alex.
Eric, clouds are streaming in. Earlier in our newscast, we had sunshine, and now it's become cloudy here at the station just above me here. And that's out ahead of these showers and these thunderstorms that are making it into portions of southwestern Wisconsin. Grant County may have a few raindrops north of Platteville. More consistent areas of showers showers and some lightning, as you see over towards portions near the Decorah area. Eventually, these showers and thunderstorms will continue to move off towards the east. Future track bringing that into southwest Wisconsin between 7 and 9 o'clock, and on and off scattered showers and thunderstorms for southern Wisconsin through the wee hours of Friday morning. I do want to emphasize we're not expecting widespread severe weather tonight, but there could be a little bit of small hail with some of these thunderstorms in southern Wisconsin. Best chance for rain is going to be as we approach that midnight hour here in Madison and really across a good portion of southern Wisconsin. And then the rain chances as you follow that yellow line goes down to dry by the time we get to 6 o'clock Friday morning. So it's a quick batch of showers and a couple of thunderstorms. As we plan Friday, skies will turn sunny. Temperatures will get back up to near 60 degrees with average highs near 56. So we're still above normal on Friday. We're going to see temperatures near 80 degrees in this forecast, and yet another weather system to track. We'll do that together in a few minutes.
Alex, thank you. Homecoming weekend kicks off at UW-Madison tomorrow. There is a lot in store for students and also alumni. Tanisha Shaw live on UW's campus. And Tanisha, campus really going to be buzzing all weekend long.
Yes, I'm here at Bascom Hall, and UW traditions are back. There's a lot to look forward to. For example, Bascom Hall, where I am right now, tomorrow, it will be filled with these pink flamingos, but we're going to talk about the activities that are ran by students. So I'm here with V. She's one of the student organizers for Homecoming. So V, first of all, tell me, what are some of the biggest draws this weekend?
The biggest draws would be the Homecoming Parade, which runs through State Street from 6 to 7:30 tomorrow. And after that is the Multicultural Yard Show, which features a lot of dancing, comedy acts, etc. That's put on by the Wisconsin Alumni Association and the Office for Fraternity and Sorority Life. And on Saturday, of course, is the football game.
Okay, and tell me more about the parade. How many people are you expecting? What are some, unique things that we can see during it?
We're expecting hundreds of people. There's more than 80 entries, from organizations around campus, like the city itself, like stores, etc. The UW band is going to be performing. We're going to be walking through as well with parades and with the floats and everything. And Bucky is also coming, so you should come and watch it.
Okay, and tell me about the Multicultural Step Show.
So that is put on by the NPHC organization, and it features student-led acts and student-run dances, comedy acts, and etc.
Okay, and you guys, I'm D9, so I'm a little biased. I think that's probably the coolest event. Tell me more about what NPHC is for those who don't know.
So that's the National Panhellenic Organization, and it features all the fraternities and sororities.
Absolutely. Are there any other things that you're looking forward to this weekend?
There's also, we're really looking forward to the parade because it features, it's the coming together of all our activities this whole week, and also the football game where we'll finally be able to see our beloved football team play and against Penn State as well. So that's a very big thing that we're looking forward to.
Absolutely. Such a wonderful time to have Badger Pride and bring the community, not only UW and UW's alumni, but the whole Madison community together.
For sure, yeah.
All right, Eric, I'm sending it back to you with the Badger Pride.
All right, Tanisha, thank you. As the homecoming celebration continues, a UW alumni group is inviting you to celebrate with them. Black Affinity Group is hosting a wine tasting right now with the Milwaukee Wine Academy at the Black Business Hub. They want to bring the community together. The group was founded to promote inclusivity and positivity. Organizers say they're proud to be Badgers and can't wait to celebrate with you.
Events like this are important because as Black alumni, it's really important for us to create space and opportunities for alum to connect and have spaces that are for us, that are welcoming for us, but also showcase our presence and the impact that we're making on the Madison community and beyond.
I hope that people get an opportunity to experience wine culture and all of the amazing winemakers and producers that are also of African descent at tonight's event. One of the desires and missions of the Milwaukee Wine Academy is to expose people to wine and wine culture and education and make that more accessible.
The event is free and it ends tonight at 9. Now for commuters who travel through the Isthmus, you'll want to give yourself some extra time tomorrow. That's due to the homecoming parade. A number of streets and roads will be closed for parade staging. The parade route runs from Gilman Street to Wisconsin at Wisconsin Avenue to State Street down to Lake Street. Street closures will begin at 4 p.m. It'll be closed from 5 to 7:30, and the parade itself starts at 6. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, the EPA finalizes stricter rules on lead paint dust. Plus, the first lawsuit has now been filed against McDonald's over an E. coli outbreak. The latest on the growing legal trouble for the fast food giant.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
At Gruber Law Offices, you pay us nothing until we win your case. It costs you nothing up front to get the results and compensation you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. Why hasn't she done it?
4 years, radical Kamala Harris created the border crisis. Thousands of accused murderers, rapists, even terrorists pour in. Each crime they commit makes American victims. Innocent victims of Kamala's open border agenda. They were bludgeoned, raped, strangled, stabbed, shot, and murdered. Kamala created the border crisis. She won't fix it now. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Tammy Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde knows that. But he's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything, including falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Tonight at 10, crime is a hot-button issue for voters and the candidates. I'm taking a deep dive into the state of criminal justice here in Wisconsin and the impact it could have on you and your wallet. 3 for the People, tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. A Colorado man suing McDonald's for the E. coli outbreak linked to the Golden Arch's famous Quarter Pounder. So far, the outbreak has led to at least 49 illnesses in at least 10 different states, and that includes 1 death. According to the lawsuit, the man bought and ate food from his local McDonald's in early October. 2 days later, got sick, ended up in the emergency room, and later was diagnosed with E. coli. The man's lawsuit accuses McDonald's of product liability, negligence, and breach of implied warranties. The FDA says the beef patties or the slivered onions on Quarter Pounders are likely the source of that contamination.
It is found that the onion supplier supplied them contaminated onions. So they can say, yes, it's my fault. I served you the hamburger, but the onion supplier needs to pay for it.
For the attorney for the Colorado man says he's also representing at least 10 other victims in this outbreak. The CDC believes the onset dates for the disease were between September 27th and October 11th. The Environmental Protection Agency issuing stricter rules when it comes to lead paint dust in homes and also child care facilities. According to the new requirements, any level is considered hazardous. Even low levels of lead exposure can be unsafe, and particularly to children, it can hurt brain development and cause long-term health complications. Even though lead is no longer an ingredient in paint, it's still found in some older homes and buildings. Still ahead, where you can get a free winter coat for your children this upcoming season. Plus, researchers from UW-Madison looking to nursing homes and the care some groups get compared to others. Plus, how much rain can we expect to get later tonight? Alex with the answer. His complete forecast when we come back.
The other side is lying to scare you. Truth is, Joan Ballweg is a champion for women's health care. She fought hard to expand healthcare access for postpartum moms and supports access for IVF and birth control. We're voting for Joan Ballweg because she votes for women like us.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Donald Trump makes a lot of promises, but we can be sure of one thing. If he wins, he'll ignore all checks that rein in a president's power. It's all in Trump's Project 2025 agenda. What does that mean for you? Higher cost on groceries, cuts to Social Security and Medicare, more tax breaks for billionaires, and a national abortion ban putting women's health at risk. A second Trump term, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
Not of money, I know. 20 of you and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad. We need leadership focused on addressing rising costs, prioritizing quality schools. But Elizabeth Grabi, endorsed by a group that would take power away from local school boards and put state bureaucrats in charge. And Grabi's backed by extremists who wanted to defund the police. Elizabeth Grabi, dangerously out of touch. Todd Novak is our trusted independent voice, helping families with rising costs, delivering funding for local law enforcement and emergency services, investing in rural broadband and our schools. Todd Novak for Assembly.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing. Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Wisconsin is home to the 3rd largest population of Hmong Americans in the United States. But a new UW-Madison case study shows for the aging members of this community, there is a gap in their quality of life in nursing homes. Armand Rahman has more. Armand?
Eric, transitioning your elderly family members into a nursing home is never easy for them or for you. While non-white residents in general face inequalities in care, this study was the first to investigate what can lead to isolation and feelings of abandonment for Hmong nursing home residents.
This work is also personal.
And this work was nostalgic, and not in a good way, for medical anthropologist Macy Tao, who is ethnically Hmong.
You know, my aunt was actually doing very poorly because she was restricted to eating only the nursing home food, and so she was starving a lot of the time, as well as my grandmother.
When doing a case study on a nursing home in Minnesota, home to the 2nd largest Hmong population in the country, she found things have not improved.
You know, the residents, shared with me that, like, when you live in the nursing home, it's like you're basically a caged pig.
Along with a lack of access to culturally appropriate food, the biggest barrier to care was language.
The fact that they can't communicate to people about what they need, basic things like a shower. There was this Hmong resident, he actually was a little more fluent in English, and he felt like he had to take it upon himself to really take care of all the other residents and to speak for them. And he already has his own disabilities, and so that was really heartbreaking.
Currently, Dane County's Aging and Disability Resource Center has 2 Hmong language specialists on staff, one of whom is Thao. The county's proposed budget for next year includes another Hmong interpreter position, which is getting a lot of community support.
So they're out in force to ask to make sure that we kept that part of the proposal intact, because there is a need, especially among more of the senior members, the elders in the Hmong community.
Tao says it is a basic first step, but more is needed.
Greater attention is needed to think about nursing homes. It's one of the most racially segregated healthcare system in the U.S., right? And a lot of that is, you see that in terms of resources.
Now, if you want to voice your support for the county's proposed budget, including the Hmong interpreter position, there is another public hearing on October 28th at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, among New Year celebrations in Madison begin next weekend.
Armand, thank you. If your children are in need of a winter coat for the upcoming winter months, we have good news. Our Coats for Kids distribution event is tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Stop by the 3 Boys and Girls Club locations in Dane County, Fitchburg, Madison, and Sun Prairie. And there you'll be able to pick out a coat or other kinds of winter apparel for free. Meanwhile, not quite winter yet. Rain set to move in. Maybe some rumbles of thunder. Alex has the latest.
Yes, all of the above, Eric. Let's take a look at radar 3000 as we speak right now. Rumbles of thunder, lightning off towards the west of Prairie du Chien near Decorah with some scattered thunderstorms that have popped up in an area of rain down towards Dubuque and our friends near Platteville. These showers and these thunderstorms have been struggling a bit as they move into southwestern Wisconsin. As I've been mentioning during the 4 o'clock newscast, the 5 o'clock newscast, that the air is a bit on the dry side out there, and that evaporates rainfall. Platteville over towards Belmont, Cuba City might have a raindrop or two falling from the sky, and we can see that with our Queen Bee radio sky cam. It looks ominous, but off towards the south and towards the west, a few raindrops falling from this area of fizzling showers, and it had a couple of lightning bolts earlier. What we call this is Virga, which is rain that is evaporating before it makes it to the ground. Looks ominous too right here in Dodgeville. Again, we have a dark sky, but off here towards the background we have that rain trying to fall from the sky, but some of it's evaporating as it makes it towards the ground. It will struggle for a bit, and that's because our dew point, that humidity, is very low right now over southern Wisconsin. Eventually the water will overtake the dryness, and we will get showers and thunderstorms to move into southern Wisconsin as we plan the rest of your evening. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms as we head towards 10 o'clock. Jacob will be here a little bit later in the evening. At 8 o'clock, you see the scattered shower and thunderstorm activity across southern Wisconsin. The more concentrated area of showers and storms expected from Lone Rock to Madison to Watertown and points south as we head towards midnight. 1 or 2 of these storms could produce some small hail as well. So I want to put that out there for you folks. As we get towards 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, that line of showers and thunderstorms out of the area, and we'll have a nice day. Overall rainfall amounts, if you're north and west of Richland Center, lesser amounts of water, maybe 1/10 of an inch. Areas towards Madison, 1/4 to 1/2 inch, 1/4 to 1/2 inch down towards Janesville as well. So the mode of the heavier rain closer to the Wisconsin-Illinois border. This is weather system number 1. I know we need the rain. The drought monitor has expanded moderate drought conditions across southern Wisconsin. This is another weather system. This is for next Wednesday. A strong cold front expected to move across southern Wisconsin. This could bring a line of thunderstorms later next Wednesday evening going into the overnight hours. We're going to need to keep an eye on that weather system next week. It could be a strong storm system, likely bringing that front through Tuesday going on into Wednesday. Right now, I think the best chance is going to be on Wednesday. And just look how warm these temperatures are. Monday, Tuesday, going on into Wednesday. Morning lows Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning in the 60s. Remember, our normal highs are in the mid-50s, so the lows are going to be warmer than our normal high temperatures for this time of year with that strong storm system. It moves through, and then by the time we get to Halloween, feeling like Halloween, temperatures back in the 50s.
And coming up in sports, the Badgers hit the road for a huge test in Denver. Why Mike Hastings thinks a change of environment is good for his team. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
This is Senator Tammy Baldwin. This is her life partner, Maria Brisbane, a Wall Street exec who makes millions advising the super rich how to make money off industries Tammy regulates. Tammy doesn't get home to Wisconsin most weekends. She'd rather be in New York at Maria's $7 million condo. That's why New Yorkers have given Tammy over $1.3 million. Tammy Baldwin's not Wisconsin's senator anymore. She's the 3rd senator from New York.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing? Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby.
But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
WIN Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
How extreme is Todd Novak? He thinks a woman's most private medical decisions should be up to him. Todd Novak has a 100% anti-abortion rating. He supports letting politicians ban abortion with no exceptions for rape, incest, or to save a woman's life. And Todd Novak authored the law to ban abortion here in Wisconsin. Elizabeth Grabe will defend abortion rights. She knows private medical decisions are between women and their doctors.
Have you heard Eric Hovde?
I am totally opposed to abortion.
I am totally opposed to politicians telling women what we can do.
Extremists all over the country have passed abortion bans.
Criminal penalties for doctors. No exceptions for rape or incest.
Women are dying just trying to get health care.
There are even restrictions in Wisconsin. This has to stop.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
We are totally opposed to Eric Hovde. I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Sometimes you just need a change of scenery to provide a spark. Good thing it's a road trip this week for the Wisconsin men's hockey team. Mike Hastings, the company, left this morning for Denver to take on the reigning national champs. Now, through 4 games, the Badgers have been doing the right things. They're just not finishing. Well, Friday and Saturday, Coach Hastings believes that will change thanks to the work his squad has put in and a new environment.
For us to focus on ourselves right now, I think it's a good thing. We're just, again, going to have to manage it from the time that we leave here on Thursday morning, get our work done there Thursday night, make sure we can our week the way that we want to get it canned so that we have some confidence when we're waking up Friday morning and getting to the rink and getting into our pregame skate and our habits, and then get off to a good start.
Wisconsin women back at home tonight for a series with Bemidji State. The Badgers have won 13 straight against the Beavers, and if I were a betting man, I think they'd add to that streak. Puck drops at 7. We'll have highlights tonight at 10. And don't forget to check out this week's Wisconsin Huddle. Tawi Walker stops by ahead of UW's big game against Penn State. Show airs on Friday at 6:30, but before that, here's a sneak peek of this week's Huddle Unleashed. And welcome to this week's Wisconsin Huddle Unleashed. I'm Zach Hanley. You're Tawi Walker. We're going to play some War.
Let's do it.
You familiar with it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, after the last time I was in, I feel pretty good about my odds right now. So.
I like it. I like it.
Dang.
There we go. I did not stack the deck. You saw me shuffle these. There you go. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. For me. It's good for you.
Needed that one.
You can have this one.
Appreciate you. There we go.
Now you're on a streak. Speaking of streaks, 3-game win streak for you right now.
Yes, sir.
You are running the ball at will. What's that like when the offense is just clicking?
Man, it's just an amazing feeling. We've been on a roll.
Gonna need that running game on Saturday against Penn State, too.
Yeah, Oklahoma could have used him last week. He looks better in Badger red. Final check of the forecast.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening for southern Wisconsin. Don't be surprised to get a little lightning. Could have a little small hail with some of these thunderstorms. Not expecting widespread severe weather. Overall rainfall amounts, 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. Across the area, we'll take all those drops.
Yeah, we need them. Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us, folks. Have a great evening. We'll be back here tonight for News 3 Now at 10.